What up, YouTube? It's your boy Detroit Love with another video.
It's Digital Pinball, a real arcade gameplay experience with 3D technology and realistic features that bring the arcade right into your home. You and your friends will have hours of arcade entertainment. Its solid construction and arcade features are a great addition to every home. Kids, parents, and even grandparents can play. With multiple game options in every model, you can play hit games like Haunted House, Black Hole, Bone Busters, and more. Get your Digital Pinball Machine today by Toyshock.
So they showed a machine with these little tiny people next to it. They showed a screen with all that bezel around it. The video shows Haunted House Pinball, but it's clearly a different version. How can we really determine what the size of this thing is? So a lot of you have held on to your boxes from your arcade 1-up. So here's something you can do with your boxes. So I put together this mock version of the Toyshock Haunted House Pinball. It's a 3/4 size pinball machine. So here it is, my mock-up next to a arcade 1-up cabinet. As you can see, it's a decent size. I'm 5'7". With my arms just naturally dropped, this thing appears to be quite playable. Quite a decent size, nice thickness. Now, this thing has a 24-inch screen. So I'll just place this approximately where it would be. Obviously, it would be lower, below the surface. But that gives you an idea of how the screen is in relationship to the size of it. Now, it is really a pretty decent size. But the question here is, we ask the same question. We'll ask the same questions as we did with the arcade 1-up. Is it sufficient? Is the quality to build sufficient enough so that we can modify it? Can we enjoy it as it is, and can we modify it? That's what this community is interested in. And so is the build quality of that cabinet adequate to allow us to modify it? Now the arcade 1-up, I got all the arcade games of my era in it, and it works perfectly. And so I've always wanted to have a pinball. So we have to ask ourselves, is the price of this box adequate to enjoy as it is or to modify? And so putting a pie in the arcade 1-up is one thing, but the 3D pinball games that are available today really requires a PC. You're going to need a PC for it to really work. And look at this screen. I mean, this screen, if it was used with a PC, 24-inch would be, a very decent size. But on this on this pinball cabinet, a 32-inch screen would probably be the minimum that you would want to do. And so to allow the whole surface, viewing surface, the playable surface to be seen, you want to have a larger screen. And so will the controls be adequate that they have inside? Will it allow you to modify and put your PC inside of it? And so if we just sort of think about the cost of this thing, we got to get some controllers. We get a 32-inch screen minimum. Maybe a 40-inch might be able to work on there as well. We probably want to put like a 19 or 20-inch monitor on the top for all of the scoring and that type of thing, and the bezel, or not the bezel, but the marquee area. If we buy a used computer, will this thing be able to hold the weight of that, the weight of this bigger screen, the weight of an extra monitor on the top? Those are the questions that needs to be answered. And there's no doubt that the community of modders that's working with the arcade and Arcade 1-Up and the @Games, that community will definitely make graphics for this thing, will definitely make a monitor mount for this thing, will definitely make available the any accessories that you would need to put, the controls that you want to put in here. So really the purpose of this video is to say, is this size, I wanted you to be able to see the size relationship to the Arcade 1-Up, so that you can make a decision, because they have the pre-sales going on now. Pre-sales are going to go up until November 30th, 2019, and they're going to start shipping on the 1st, December 1st. Well, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. I've been up all night poking around with this thing. So my voice is cracking here. But you want to be, if you want to be at the front of the line of these modifications, I wanted you to be able to at least have a better information to make a decision on whether you will get the pre-sale. Because if you get the pre-sale and the community starts making these things available, you'll have it in stock to be able to start modifying. If you wait and maybe the supply is low, we don't know how many they're going to make of this thing, how popular it's going to be, and then they stop selling them, then you don't have any options, or it's tougher to find, then you don't have those options. So I wanted you to be able to get the information quickly, to have a size comparison to the Arcade 1-Up, because most of the people out here like this smaller size. Arcade pinball machines cost upwards to $3,000 to $7,000 for a full size arcade machine. So can you put in a computer, a monitor, a high definition TV? Will this thing support that weight? Will it allow you to do it at a reasonable price? I mean, even at the top end, if you spent $1,000 getting all the parts that you needed, along with this price of $400, $1,400 is still going to be way cheaper than you can build a pinball machine. So my dimensions here, I was slightly off. It was 50 inches on the top and 30 inches on the bottom, where it should be 31 inches on the bottom. So I got it pretty close. But again, the idea is for you to be able to see how this thing would look, what the size would look like compared to the Arcade 1-Up. Because looking at the online description and the pictures, it's hard to determine what that size really means. And so this is as close as you can get to the actual size of what it's going to be. And so I just want to let you see how the screen is, like I said, 24 inches. On a PC would be fine, but look at all that bezel around there. That's just crazy. I know they're trying to keep the cost down, but man, they should have put a bigger screen on that thing. I mean, that's just crazy. So I'm 32-inch, maybe even a 40-inch high definition TV or monitor would most likely fit in that box. And so the dimensions that I determined was that was 30 inches long, 23.5 inches wide, that whole front surface. And the top was like 23.5 squared and about 3 inches thick. But there's plenty of room in the center of this cabinet to be able to put a PC. It's just a matter of, will it hold the weight? Will it be sufficient? So guys, there you have it. You see how this thing looks next to our beloved Arcade 1-Up. Whether you like them or hate them, the Arcade 1-Up boxes do the job for a low profile, real authentic feel for playing these arcade games. So this Toyshock Haunted House Pinball Machine is definitely something to be considered. It's available at Walmart's pre-sales 11/30/2019. You can pre-order. It's going to start shipping on 12/1/2019. Do you pull the trigger now and get one of these things for $400 and wait for the community to make available decals if you want to change the look, give you all the details for controls and screens and TVs and installs, instructions. They're coming one way or the other. So guys, thank you for watching. Until next time, I'll see you on the web.